Good evening, everyone. So we will start today's class. So before we move on to today's portion, we will look at what we learned last class, and we just try to refresh our memory. So basically, we learned about using the formulas. A few formulas we learned. First, we learned about how to do an average for a set of data. Then we learned how to use the sum formula to add all the set of data in a range. Then we also learned how to do the count. Then we learned how to count all the filled cells, all the blank cells, and also how to join information from two different columns. So just give me a second. So this is what we learned last week, and I'm really happy. Most of you have already sent me your homework, and everybody is able to do the thing, right? So we learned to use all the count formula, count A, count blank, average, sum, and then we use the column to concatenate to join the two data in the two columns into one column. So any doubts for anyone so far in this?
No doubt, sir.
No, sir.
From us.
Okay. No doubt, then we will move on to today's lesson. Okay, so today what we will do basically is we will learn about, today we will learn a new topic. Today we will try to make another exercise about how to make a stock inventory management. We take the example of a grocery store, and then we will see how to do the inventory management system of a grocery shop. Okay. So this concept you can also use in your workplace, not necessary to be a grocery store. Of course, if after a few years you want to go back to your country, you want to start a small business, you can use this inventory management system. Or in your current job, if you are responsible for buying certain spares or tools, you want to keep record, you can also use this concept. Maybe if you're responsible to buy small consumables for your job, you can use the same concept, and then you can develop your own tracking system. Okay, so today we will take the example of a grocery shop. So grocery shop, you know, people have all the different items. We have all the items in place, and then they have to manage all the ordering system. So that is why we call this as inventory management system. So in a shop, they have to have certain system to trigger them to tell when to buy, how much they have sold, what is the sales volume, what is the balance cost of inventory with them. So they need to know all these values. So without all these things, it is very difficult. In the past, I think when we were young in our hometown, you would have seen that they might not have all these things. They just write a handwritten bill, or sometimes it's just based on memory. They just tell you what is the cost, then they don't have all this inventory system. But nowadays, all the supermarkets or even small shops, they have this kind of software. Even if you go to the hardware shop, nowadays they are using barcode to scan and manage the inventory. So today we will just learn the very basic things, how to use Excel to manage this. So before we go into detail, so this table we will create later. So I will just explain first what all the things we need to do. So first thing, we need to have the product description, right? So what is the product type? So that's the first column. Second column is the unit price. Unit price means cost of each product. For example, if it is oil, what is the cost of 5 liters of oil? $10. So that is unit price. Quantity in hand, that means this is the stock. That means in the shop, initially how much quantity of the product they are having. So this is quantity in hand. Quantity sold is maybe after 1 week or 1 month. What is the total quantity sold? So this is the quantity sold. Inventory value is cost of each product multiplied by the total quantity, right? So basically, if you have one product is $10 and you have 10 products, so the value of the total value of the product in hand is 10 multiplied by 10, so it is $100. So it's the same concept. So that is the reason I explained here into a simple text so that you can understand how the formula works. Next is the sales value. Sales value means what is the cost of, what is the total amount that we have sold. So how to calculate that? What is the cost of unit cost of one product multiplied by the number of quantity of product that we have sold. Next is called remaining stock. Remaining stock means what is the stock that is balance available. So how do you find this? You minus off what is the quantity you have in hand and you minus this from the product that you have sold. So that is the balance quantity that is remaining. So that is called remaining stock. Reorder level means you have many products. So when certain level is reached, we need to trigger or you need to initiate to buy the product again. If you don't buy it, suddenly you may end up with no stock in your store. That means in your store, this particular product will not be available. So people may come and then you will tell to them that you don't have the stock. So you need to have a system to tell you when to buy. So that level. So if you think, for example, the oil is 100 quantity you are buying, but when it reaches to lower than 75, you want to buy. So that is called the reorder level. So this is the basic, all the terminology that we will be using and the formula that we'll be using. So any doubts on this so far?
No, sir.
Okay. How about Raju or
Okay, sir.
Farah, Razil, Shamim?
No doubts, sir.
Okay, so this is the basic formula, right? Once you understand this, then next is easy. Okay, so now we will go to create exactly the same thing in a new sheet. So how do I do that?
வணக்கம் brother.
Okay, we will now demonstrate how to do this sheet. So you can, is everybody doing now or just watching?
Sir, I am watching.
How about others? Are you having computer and doing?
Sir. Just put RDC now. I want to already automatically cannot go to.
How about Sajeev, Farah, Russell?
Sir, now I am watching, sir. After that, I will do. I see first, sir.
Okay, okay,
I also watching in my laptop.
okay.
And I don't. Go back to
Okay. So how to do this? First, you type the heading. So once you type, then you have to put all the different columns. Okay, so I typed all the headings. So you can adjust the column to fit into the text by clicking at the top. So watch this carefully. So now I want to make the header to be common for all the columns. So how do I do? I select everything. I give merge and center. So now it is merge and center. As we learned, we can increase the size. You can do a fill, whatever color you want, you can do a fill. Same way, you can also make it center align, make it bold. So now you have this. Next, we can start to type the products. So first we have, say for example, you talk about oil. So I just type a few examples. Okay, so maybe we have this just for example. You can add more, or you can even use your workplace example of your stores or any consumables or PPE, whatever you want, you can write. So I just put some value for the cost. Okay, so I have done this. Then I'll just try to put what is the stock I have. This is just again for example only. So now I'm going to fill how much quantity I've sold. So for example, maybe I just say the rice I sold 30 bottles of the cooking oil. I sold about 350 pieces of soap. So you can just use whatever number you want. No need to follow my numbers, but just get the concept right. That's more important. Okay. So now we have done all the input. So input means what all the basic data that we need to put into a system we have put, right? So when you want to have your own stores, you need to put all the product here. You can add more items. You put what is the cost of unit each, like for example, cooking oil, 1 bottle, what is the cost? You have to put it here. Since this is price, what should we do? We have to use the price format. So remember always to use all the tricks that you have learned so far. So apply this whenever you can. So next is we have to find what is the inventory value. So what is the inventory value? Okay, I will just copy these texts so it's easy for you all to understand. Okay, so before we go, we can make a good table. So how do? We go to the table here, we click it, we make a table. You want to make it to have a color, you can also use the fill color to make some colors. You can also format using different font size, font type, whatever you want, you can practice. So main concept is how to do the inventory value. So you see here, inventory value is cost of each product and the quantity of the product. So we can use product formula, and also you can use a simple way. Later I will show both. You can use either a simple way to use a unit price, which is B3 multiplied by quantity in hand. We can do this. So this is one way of doing it. Another way, you have to learn formulas, so you can use product. So product of, so as you remember from the last class, the formula starts always with equal to formula name, bracket, then the data range. So this is the how the formula is written in Excel. So as usual, the formula is equal to product, bracket is open. So the range of data is unit price, which is in B3. So I give a comma and quantity in hand. Then close bracket. So this is a way to use the formula. Okay, so 100 times 10 is 1000. So how to apply this to all the rest of the item? Anybody can remember how to do this?
Just click the 1000, then go down.
Louder?
Click the first
Click
one
the
and drag down. Then drag down.
See the, come to the right bottom corner. When you see the plus sign,
Then
just
down.
drag it. So you can see the formula is applied to all the cells. So this is the inventory value. Now we have found the inventory value. Next, we need to find what is the sale value. That means all the sales what you have done. So we need to do the calculation for this. So how do we do this? We use the same formula, equal to same. Please carefully listen. Again, it's the same formula. Product. When you click it, automatically the open bracket comes. You have to select the unit price and which cell we need to select.
solve quantity.
These
Total hand. Quantity in hand. Total.
Brother Hussein.
these
Okay, so welcome to our class. We have already started 3 lessons. So if you want, we can later send you the link of the other classes. You can see the videos. Okay, we will talk to you at the end of the class. Okay, so now coming back to this product. So now I've selected the unit cost, and what should be the next cell I should select?
Quantity of product solved.
these
So D3. Okay, very good. Then I close the bracket. Then I need to give a enter. So automatically the formula gives the value. So you can calculate manually. $10 times 30 is 300. So same method, we will apply this formula to the entire cells. And since this is a cost, we use the dollar sign. Okay, so sales value is obtained. So far, any doubts?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So next is to find the remaining stock. So maybe Raju can tell me how to calculate the remaining stock.
Sir, point is equal to choose from column C, E3 and C3, sir. Then close the bracket.
You can do a simple minus. You can
Yeah,
do the simple minus like this. Quantity in hand, C minus D. You can also use a bracket. It will be the same answer. I can show you. You are right. Actually, if you use the bracket, when you have more formulas behind, it will be useful. But in this case, we are using only simple two values, so there is no need to put a bracket. So we have calculated what is the remaining stock. So now comes to reorder level. So reorder level means quantity of the product below which we need to start to buy the product again. So it cannot be the same for all the product, right? So maybe in the store, some items can be fast moving, some items can be slow moving. So you need to decide at what level you need to start your purchasing process again. So now I will just give certain examples for this exercise. I will just put some values. Okay, so I put some values. So that means, for example, cooking oil, when I have the remaining stock lower than 75, I need to start to buy again. So now in our example, we have the remaining stock is only 70. My reorder level is 75. So what should I do? I need to call my supplier to give me the cooking oil. So how can I remember? I cannot see one by one and remember. So we can make some simple formula to tell you what to order and what not to order. So we can use a formula called IF. So see carefully, equal to IF. So you can see here. So you can see the description below. This is the format of the IF formula. It is if bracket. What is the logic we need to use? Separated by comma. And if it is true, what should happen? And if it is not true, what should happen? So this is the formula. So I will write now. So for me, I want if the stock is in G3. If the remaining stock is less than reorder level, which is 75. So I hope everybody knows the less than greater than symbol, right? So whichever side it is facing, that is the bigger number. So if column G3, which is the remaining stock, is less than reorder level, so this is the logic I want to check. I want the computer to give me an answer. Yes. If it is not true, I want an answer as no. So this is the format. I close the bracket. So I repeat again. Equal to if command, open bracket. So the logic I want to use is compare the two values. So I use remaining stock, which is in G3. Is it less than the reorder level? I want to compare. This is the logic I want to apply. And if this logic is true, I want the computer to tell me yes. If this is not true, the computer has to tell me no. You can also use this to change initiate order, don't order. You can use whatever you want. Later I will change and show to you if you want to. Okay, so now I click yes, enter. So the answer that I get is yes. You see here, is it true? 70 is less than 75 for sure. That means I need to buy more because I have set the level that below 75 I need to start to order and buy my cooking oil. So this is true. So I can apply the same logic to all the sets. So you can see here I have stock of 150. My reorder level is 200. So that means I am lower. So it's correct. So I see randomly another example of no. My stock is 150. Is it lower than 100? No, I have more quantity. So that means I can wait until the stock falls to 100. Then I can buy. So now I no need to buy. So this is correct. Now if I want the text to be, okay, I want to change it to, instead of yes, I want to have place order. And instead of no, I can say do not order. You can do whatever you want. So now I use this formula for only the first cell. So I have to apply to all this. You see, you can do. So you can use within this bracket. You see the formula or the function bar here. Within the bracket, whatever text you give, the computer will give that value. So it's up to you what text you want or what message you want to be prompted. And here is the same. So before I move on, any doubts so far? This is very important formula. So do you all understand or you want me to repeat again?
Sorry, repeat one more time, sir.
Repeat again. Okay.
Yeah.
Only this last reorder formula, if formula, right?
Yeah, last one. Yes, sir, last one.
I delete no. Okay. So if you see here, I set the reorder level, I set the remaining stock. So now I want to see easily whether which all the items I want to order, which all the items don't want to order, right? Imagine if you're having a shop, the agent will come once in a while, the supplier, and ask you, do you want to place order for my product? So you cannot be checking the stock one by one and then trying to place the order. So you have to make it automated. So how to make it is very simple. You set a reorder level and you compare to your existing remaining stock, balance stock, and you can decide whether you want to buy or not. So how to do that? You use the if function. So type equal to if. So select the if function. So in the if function consists of 3 portions. You see here, the first part is the logic. What is the logic you want the computer to check? The second portion is if this logic is true, what is the message you want the computer to tell you? And if the logic is false, what is the message you want to tell? Okay. So this is what I want to use using the if function. So the logic in this case for this example, we want to compare whether column G is lower than column H. Correct? In this, are you clear? Column G less than column H. This logic is clear for everybody?
Sir,
Farah, do you understand this? Farah cannot hear you.
Yes, sir. I understand, sir.
Okay, so this one you understand, right? Okay. So this is the logic. So this logic I want to check. So I put a comma. And if this logic is true, I want the computer to tell me place order. Because the level is low, I want the inventory management system to tell me to place the order. Then I put a comma. But if this condition is false, I want computer to tell me do not place order. And I close the bracket. Is it clearer now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else has now? How about Sajib, Raju?
yes, sir, no doubt.
Okay, sir.
Okay. How about Monir? Can you understand? Brother Monir Hussain? Okay, so if not doubt, then I will continue. So after the formula is completed, place just have to enter. Then I drag it all the way down. So now the result is here. Whatever here 70 is less than 75, so I need to buy place order. 150 is greater than 100, so that means I have more than 100, so I no need to buy. But still you can see it is not very obvious. I want this to be very different color. How can I do it? So I can go and do a conditional formatting. So you can see here in this style, there's a icon called conditional formatting. Click it. There's the first option, highlight cell rules. Go to text that contains. So I can, what I want to highlight, I want to highlight all the columns, that is all the cells that is having place order, and how I want to do it with a light red fill with a dark red text, because it is about like important, so I want it to be bright, so I use this color. So I click OK. So I want this to be applied everywhere. Okay, so now those I don't want to have this, no need to order, we can change it to a different color. So whatever there is a sufficient stock, I don't want to order. I use a green fill because it is safe. I no need to order, so I use a green. You can choose whatever color you want. So can you see now? You use the conditional formatting. You did not manually go and fill the color, but you use the formula to go and highlight for you whatever is place order, highlight in a bright color, and whatever is safe, you no need to order with the light color. So you can see when you open this sheet, if you're running a shop, straight away you know you need to order these 5 items. Then the other 5 items you no need to order. So is it clear for you? Do you want me to repeat it again?
Repeat one more time, sir.
Okay. So, let me demonstrate one more time. So just to make more visual management, make it easy for you to see, I want all these things, whatever place order in a different color, whatever do not place order in a different color. So I select all these cells. I go to conditional formatting. Since this cell is having only the text, we have to use this value. Text that contains. So you select this option. So first I want to highlight all the cells that is with place order in red color because it is important. So I type here place order. Okay. All the cells are highlighted because everything that contains the same. So I use the other formula, whatever is not required to use the So now you can see all those that we wanted to order is in red color. Whatever we don't want to, order, it is in green color. So this will be easy for you at one glance. You can see and you can know what to order and what not to order. You can change the text like what I said. Instead of place order, you can put yes and no. If you use here yes and no, now I will change this to yes and no back. Then in the formula, you have to also change yes and no. So this is important. If you're using this yes and no, same way in your formatting also, you should use the same thing. Okay, you see here. So important thing is what is inside the text, you have to give the same thing. You see now the formula is not applicable because there is no such rules. So you clear this. So if you want to do it again, I'm showing it to repeat the exercise again for you. Highlight cell rules, text that contain. I want to give all the cells with yes, with red. And I want to highlight all the cells with no, with green. Okay. Is it clear now?
Sir.
Clear, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anyone have doubts? You can ask me. I can repeat again any of the steps. So if you see, for example, Now we can see whether the formula works. Now you can see the remaining stock I put as 70. Just for exercise, I want to change it to 80. You can see now the computer tells me to reorder, and it is in dark red. So I change it to 80. You can see computer automatically tells me no, don't order, and it also shows me the green color. So the formula that we put is also working, and the conditional formatting that we did is also working. So you can change, or you want to change the reorder level to 100. It will change back because your stock is 80, but your reorder level is 100. So it is still going back. So you can try this with different examples. You can practice. Any doubts, anything in terms of the concept or how to do it in Excel, either way you can ask me, because this is important. In your workplace, you can use this to manage for those in the working as a supervisor. If you need to, like, if your company should use certain consumables, you want to keep account of what you have, what you don't have, you can use this formula. You may not have the price, but you can just use what is the quantity they give you, what is the quantity below which you want to ask your company again to give you more stock. You can simple exercise, you can do the same way. Any doubts?
Sir, sir,
Yes. சொல்லுங்க கார்த்தி.
சார் இப்போ நம்ம இதை போட்டுட்டோம்ல சார், அது இப்போ நம்ம ஒன் பை ஒன்னா இப்போ டெய்லி இப்போ ஒவ்வொரு பொருள் சேல்ஸ் பண்றோம்னா அது எப்படி சார் ஆட் பண்றது? இல்லை ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக ஆட் ஆகுமா, நம்ம அதில் போயிட்டு நம்ம ஆட் பண்ணணுமா சார் டோட்டல் சேல்ஸ்ல?
Okay, let me explain in English so others also understand. Okay, so now Karthik asked me how we manage, because every day the quantity will be sold is different, right? So how to do it? Is it automatically updated or not? In the real life, in a store, they use a software where automatically when you buy, when they scan the barcode, automatically all these calculations are done behind. So it's automatic. But when you are using Excel sheet, it is not automatic. So if you are using this for real life, if really you wanted to use, if you have a store, if you have a stall or a store, you want to use this, you have to use the sold quantity. The sold quantity you have to change every time. So every time when people buy, for example, initially 30 quantities sold, when the next customer want to buy, you have to change it to 31. So usually we don't use this for daily sales. It's very difficult because in a single day you may have hundreds of people coming and buying. So it's very difficult to use this in a practical case for daily trading. But you can use this for stock check. That means at the end of the day or in 1 week period. Usually if your ordering frequency is like every week, then you can do a stock check before the ordering process. So you can do the stock check, then you can use this. Okay. If you want to really use only Excel to do stock reduction and do all this calculation, it is still possible, but actually it's very advanced. You can do some macros and other things to do, but that is really very advanced Excel. So for now, this example, you can use it for like inventory stock count. Maybe every week you are doing or every month you are doing. So for that case, it's possible. But like every customer, if they want to buy, every time you want to do an update in this Excel sheet is difficult. For that case, you have to use more advanced Excel methodology where you can just enter all the product, then all these calculations happens behind. Okay. Is it clear, Karthik? Hello, brother Karthik.
சார் சொல்லுங்க சார்.
Did you understand?
Person network problem. Yeah, understand sir. Now understand. Sometimes code again need to join sir, because today I don't know some network issue.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
First now my class I go to outside sir, then come in join. I don't know some network problem.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Okay.
Okay. So any other doubts, others, any other doubts you have?
No doubt, sir.
How about Sajeev?
No, sir. No doubt.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Clear.
How about Monir Hussain? Shamim?
No doubt, sir.
Good. If no doubts, I will share this format. I will remove all the price and other things. Okay, or I will send you this file. You can delete all these values. You can key in your own different product, different price, and you work out on this, and you can send this as a homework. Okay, or you can use this also as a your workplace inventory management. Anything is fine. If you want to create your own file, is fine, or you can fill in some values here, but you have to demonstrate the formulas and practice it and send the screenshot. If any doubts, please ask me in the WhatsApp. I will try to explain to you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, thank you.